Have you ever felt intimidated by the idea of journaling? Like, if you're going to journal, that means you need to document your entire day like Lewis and Clark, or you need to have some type of revelation or some skills with writing in order to take up the practice. If it's felt like a practice that is either not for you or too far away or maybe pointless, this is the perfect video for you to be watching. We're going to talk about how to start journaling, and I'm going to give you 3 different styles of journaling that you can choose from that will help you understand the beauty of this tool and how it can help you achieve your goals. My name is Lindsay Pickowitz. I'm one of the head coaches and the co-founders at The Fitness Project, where we build fit, healthy leaders. Now, where does a tool like journaling come into play when it comes to fitness and health? Well, the truth is, fitness and health is about much, much, much more than your workouts and your nutrition. Most of fitness and health, especially for leaders and for busy, ambitious professionals, is about what goes on between your ears. Because what goes on between your ears is what makes the difference between knowing and actually doing what you say you want to do. If you've ever said, I know what I need to do, I just need to do it, but then you don't, there's most likely some dialogue going on in your head or some emotions you're not aware of that are pulling you away from the activities you say you so desperately want to do. Journaling is an exercise to build self-awareness. It's an exercise to help you better understand yourself and ultimately get you to a point of clarity and focus where you're able to not only accomplish your goals, but really become the person you want to be in the process. And from personal experience, I can say that journaling is life-changing when it's leveraged the right ways. Now let's start here. What is journaling at its core? Because even everything I just said might sound intimidating. It might sound like too much, or you might think that's BS. Journaling is simply writing with intention. You can start writing that down. Journaling is writing with intention. Simply put, journaling is just writing, pen and paper, or digital writing. That's all it is. So I will say this again at the end and keep reminding you, but journaling happens the moment your pen hits the paper, the moment you type the first letter. It's not this big experience that has right and wrong. It's simply expression through writing, through words. But the challenge with journaling or writing is many times people try to do it without having any type of purpose behind it. They just think that journaling is a self-care practice that they should do and they've heard other people do, but they don't really have a purpose in doing it themselves beyond others do it, so it must be good, right? Or they see a nice little notebook at a store like Target and they think, okay, I'm going to start journaling, self-care. But again, it doesn't really have purpose. It doesn't have meaning. There's no problem it's solving. And that, my friends, is exactly why that habit does not stick. So that's really where we need to start, identifying what's the purpose. For me personally, I started journaling when I was about 8 years old. I had a Lisa Frank journal. Do you remember Lisa Frank? And I wrote in it every day. I started with just using it as a place to keep my secrets, as silly and simple as that sounds. As an 8-year-old who only had 2 brothers, there needed to be a safe place to put my feelings, my thoughts, the little boys I liked. And that journal became my safe place. Now, as I got older, I started to use journaling for many different things, but a lot of it was writing down how I felt. Because again, it was a place where there was no judgment. It was a place where I could write whatever was in my mind and know that nobody was judging it. And I could look at it honestly and either just feel a little freer, a little lighter, or I could kind of work through it and maybe start asking myself some questions about why I was feeling that way or when I started feeling that way, or maybe what I could do differently today to feel better or feel differently. And that habit and behavior has only evolved over time. So now, today, I use journaling when I feel stuck. I use journaling when I want to learn something and I want to be able to actually retain that information. I use journaling when I feel disconnected. I use journaling when I want to reflect on all that I have done, when I want to retrain myself to think differently. When I really don't understand why I'm feeling a certain way, I use journaling to get that clarity. So again, I'm sharing these different uses with you through my story because you want to start thinking about what you want to use journaling for. Where could it be helpful for you? So before I actually teach you how to do this, which is really the point of today, I'm going to share with you 3 different beginner style journaling practices that you can start to get your feet wet with. But how do you want to use this? Or maybe what problem do you want to solve with journaling? Are you often feeling scattered? Are you maybe feeling overwhelmed? Or like you have these goals for yourself, whether they're losing weight or saving more money or having greater revenue in your business or having a better marriage, but you struggle to stay focused on that goal. Are you struggling with anxiety, depression, anger, difficult emotions that seem to run your life? Are you sick of getting stuck in loops where you keep doing behaviors that don't serve your goals? Do you want to level up and keep pushing yourself? Do you want to grow? Do you want to expand, but you're not sure how? Any of these problems can be solved or at least assisted in solving through journaling. As I said earlier, journaling is writing with intention. We just started outlining what is the intention for you. Now, what I like to say is journaling is a tool that helps you direct your mind. In case you haven't noticed, the mind tends to wander. In mindfulness practices, it's often referred to as the monkey mind because thoughts just bounce all over the place. Journaling is a tool that can help you direct the thoughts towards a particular destination, which is very valuable, especially if you struggle with fear, anxiety, overwhelm. Your thoughts can feel like they're overpowering. Journaling is a great tool to direct those thoughts. But nonetheless, we want to start with understanding that the first initial prompts or styles of journaling are us directing our mind towards a particular end. Once you've identified the problem that you'd like to solve with journaling, now we get to practice the activity of journaling. I always suggest that this be the first thing in your day or the last thing in your day, especially when you're getting started, because that is much easier to follow through with than thinking middle of the day you're going to take a break to journal, right? Put it at the front of your day or the back, and that's going to be most likely the most useful for you. Now, the first style, powerlifting. Powerlifting is basically you asking yourself, what are my most important goals for today? And the key here is most important. Now, with a power list, this is going to give you power. It is not a to-do list. To-do lists are a long list of action items that have no particular priority. A power list is the top 3 to 5 things that if you do them, regardless of what happens in your day, you will feel like a success. That takes a little bit more thought, a little bit more intention. It might even take you rewriting them a few times. But here's an example of what a power list could look like. Let's say that you have a big project that you need to submit at work, or you have a big project you're closing the loop on within your business. Well, close out, we're going to call it Project X. And you're going to have to really look at that and say, 1, is that possible to close it out today? And 2, how would I feel if that was the only thing I did today? Like that was my biggest accomplishment today. If you can look at that power list or that item and say, I would feel really, really good about myself. I'd feel really proud of the efforts I put in today. Well, then that should stay on your power list. Number 2, let's say that we are working on a fitness and health goal. So your result or your focus for today is to get a workout in. Get a workout. Ideally, we could write maybe what type of workout it is, but we'll leave it at get a workout for now. If that is your outcome for the day and that's on your power list, again, you ask yourself, if the world exploded into chaos and I just got a workout in today, would I be proud of that? Yes, I would. Would I be able to feel satisfied with my day if I got a workout in? And let's say I also closed out Project X. Absolutely. Okay, cool. That belongs in your power list. And then lastly, let's say that we've got a home related goal. For me personally, I might say something like be completely present on my date night and enjoy it. Be present on date night. If the world exploded into chaos, but I was completely present and had a great time with my husband on date night, would I feel satisfied with my day? Yeah, I would. That would mean a lot to me. Awesome. Cool. You've got your power list. Now, power listing is, again, essentially asking the question and answering the question, what are my goals for today? But the key is that we are identifying what is the most important. You can't accomplish 10 goals in a day consistently, or you will burn yourself out and never quite feel like you're good enough. Power listing challenges you to really think through and learn how to prioritize, and also let the priorities be enough. It also indirectly teaches you how to say no. Journaling and writing it down increases the likelihood that you will follow through versus just saying to yourself, oh yeah, I really want to be present. I'm going to close out that project. So if you write this down, that is journaling, first of all. If you write that down and you journal, then it's going to be much easier for you to follow through because the memory in your mind increases when you write things down, and you also have something physical to look back at. You have no idea how many times in a day I have to go back to my power list and say, what did I say I was going to do today? Oh yeah, I remember that. That's going to make me feel really good. I'm going to recommit to that right now at 4 p.m. Even though I only have a few hours left in the day, I'm going to get that done. That is the power of a power list. That's the first style of journaling. And this will teach you a lot about yourself and also really break the idea that journaling has to be this long, extensive practice. What's most important today? 3 to 5 things at most. Boom. Get them done. And then every day you'll learn a little bit more about what you have capacity for. The second style of journaling, especially as a beginner, is going to be daily gratitude. I really considered calling this daily appreciation because gratitude is a word that, although it is incredibly powerful when you can tap into and access gratitude, it's often overused. People will say, I'm grateful for my dog, I'm grateful for my husband, I'm grateful for my home, but they don't actually have an internal, emotional, or spiritual experience. Gratitude is something that is emotional, it's spiritual, it is not physical, and it's not logical either. If you just say, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that, and there's no emotion behind it, you're not going to get the benefits of gratitude. You're not going to feel the oxytocin and the serotonin. You're not going to feel that benefit from actually experiencing gratitude. So when I think of daily gratitudes as a practice, as a journaling exercise, I'm not just going to write a quick list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things I'm grateful for. I'm going to think, what am I truly grateful for? And that's the prompt. What am I truly grateful for today? And I'm going to really think about that until I have maybe even just one. Some days that's all you can get. What's one person or item or experience that I'm so grateful for? And I'm going to write it down. My marriage. But I'm not just going to leave it at my marriage. I'm kind of going to ask myself why. What about my marriage? I say, well, that my husband has really been stepping up. Making this up, by the way. Right? My husband has been stepping up. And I write a question mark because what does that mean? Why am I grateful for that? Well, because he's really making an effort. He's showing a difference. And his behavior is changing. He's becoming more loving. And I just so appreciate that he's wanting to make this marriage even better, even though it's already great. You can even imagine how different that feels when you hear me say it versus, yeah, I'm grateful for my marriage. I'm grateful to have a good marriage, right? So daily gratitudes, think, what am I truly grateful for and why? Or what about that am I grateful for? And maybe write 1 to 3 things at most. You don't need a laundry list. You only need to really truly experience gratitude about one person or experience or thing. And that's enough. Trust that that's enough. If you want to build off this a little bit more, one question I like is, how can I appreciate? We'll say blank, even more today. And let's say it's something like nature. I'm grateful for nature. I'm grateful to be outside. I'm grateful for the warm sun on my skin. I'm grateful that I can breathe this fresh air and that my lungs can feel alive. Okay, awesome. How can I appreciate being in nature even more today? That's that other question. How can I appreciate this even more? Well, I could get out there. I can go for a walk. I can take my dog out, right? And it kind of starts to introduce we'll say the future of the day. It tells you maybe what direction you should go to experience even more gratitude, which is a very powerful emotion. When you feel grateful, you tend to take action like you're someone who's full of love and energy, rather than someone who's depleted, exhausted, and drained and trying to scrape by emotionally, spiritually, or physically. So daily gratitude is another practice, which again, all you're asking is, what am I truly grateful for today? And you're doing 1 to 3 gratitudes. That's it. And now you're journaling. The third type of journaling that's great for beginners is what's called intention setting. This one can feel more open-ended, but for someone who maybe calls themselves more creative, more open, this would be a really great direction for you to go. The power list is great for somebody who's very ambitious and goal-oriented and likes to be organized, maybe a little bit more intense and direct. Daily gratitude is great for somebody who's maybe feeling really low or really wants to experience more life. And then intention setting is for someone who's more creative, curious, open, wants to just explore this idea of journaling. You could do and try all different ones, but to give you a little bit of guidance on maybe which one you should start with, that's what I would say. Coming back, intention setting. This is answering the question of, what is my intention today? Now, how is this different than what are my goals for today? An intention is a direction. Goals are clear outcomes. An intention is a direction. So let's say my intention for today is to be present in everything that I do. Well, then no matter what I am doing, I can come back and ask myself, am I in alignment with my intention today? Am I rushing? Am I thinking about the past, or am I present? And it's something that can direct you back to where you want to be at any time, regardless of what you're working on. So a little different than powerlifting, which again is outcomes, goals, things that you're chasing to hit or complete. Intention is a little bit more open. As I said, it's open, but it's one direction to go, regardless of what you do in that direction. I hope that makes sense. So what is my intention? And you can also think of this as, how do I want to show up? Yes. For me personally, I'm really working on the intention, the identity, the idea of being a leader that inspires. And that's language that I've put to the journey that I'm on. So it might not resonate with you directly, but that's my intention every day, is be the leader that inspires, show up with inspiration, show up with leadership, show up with energy, right? If I'm thinking, what's my intention? How do I want to show up? That's my answer. And it's my answer every time. But when I was first getting started with intentions, I tended to write one emotion at a time. My intention today is joy. My intention today is peace. My intention today is presence. My intention today is love, or power, or confidence. I wanted to show up with that energy or that emotion or that feeling, no matter where I was or what I was doing. And again, the powerful thing about intentions is you don't have to accomplish anything in particular to live in that intention. You can show up with that intention no matter where you go or what twists and turns happen throughout the day. And that can be really, really helpful because it's simple, and simplicity scales. Simplicity is repeatable. Complexity, on the other hand, kills progress, which is why you want to pick just one of these 3 practices I've given you to get into journaling. And these practices can carry you for the next 30 days, the next 90 days, the next year. You could write the same question every single day and get different answers and get curious and get open and grow immensely just by these single questions that you ask yourself. So we'll cover them one more time. If you are just getting started with journaling and you really want to learn how to use this tool to your advantage, whether you feel scattered, you feel overwhelmed, you're struggling to stay focused on a goal, You experience challenging emotions like anxiety, depression, anger. You're stuck in loops and keep repeating poor behaviors, or honestly, you just want to level up. You love personal growth. You want to do more, be more, become more. Great. Awesome. Here's how you can use journaling to your advantage. Think of it as writing with intention. That is directed writing. And it's used for a purpose. It's meaningful. It's for self-reflection or problem solving or setting goals, getting better at prioritizing, right? All these different ways that you can use journaling to your advantage. And 3 different styles that you can start with as a beginner in journaling, especially if it's been uncomfortable or a little intimidating for you, are number 1, power listing. Learning how to write out and clarify and follow through on the top 3 things, maybe 5 at most, 3 to 5, that are the most important that you accomplish today. Number 2, daily gratitude. Daily gratitude is answering and really marinating in the question of what am I truly grateful for today? And just finding one thing, one person, one experience that you can be so grateful for and really get detailed on why you're grateful for it. It has immense power to better connect you to yourself, your creator, or others that you love. Number 3, intention setting. Having a direction that you're putting yourself towards every day that helps you become the person you want to be, that helps you live in alignment with this version of yourself that you define as the highest, the best version of you. Writing down, what is my intention today? How do I want to show up? And writing out what that intention is, and then bringing yourself back to it throughout the course of the day. All in all, I hope that you found this helpful. I hope this reduces the intimidation factor on journaling itself. And I would love to hear in the comments below, which practice are you going to use next? Are you going to start with power listing? Are you going to do some intention setting, some daily gratitude? Which practice are you going to be starting with? Once you write it down, that commitment is much more real. And what I would challenge you to do once you've commented that is go write on your calendar or clarify, when are you going to do that? Is it going to be right before bed? Is it going to be right when you wake up or with your morning coffee? When will you actually practice journaling, even for 2 to 5 minutes per day? And just let yourself experience it and see what comes of it. No pressure. Get curious, look for those rewards, and remember, journaling is a tool to solve a problem. It's a tool to help you grow. It's a tool to help you express yourself. And it's a tool that can change your life. That said, I hope you take this new tool and you go out and you conquer your day. This is Lindsay Pickowitz signing off. I will see you very soon. Cheers.